Alright guys, today I'm going to be telling you what the fuck you should actually be doing at level 60 in Fresh Classic. Now, the key to good level 60 preparation is 1. Actually preparing before you hit level 60, and secondly, investing for the future. The first thing I want to talk about is how you can get a pretty big gold boost at level 60. Many people make the mistake of turning in quests before they hit level 60. This might seem quite stupid because, well, don't you want XP while you're leveling, obviously? But the thing is, you can get a lot of extra gold if you turn in quests at max level. The conversion rate is roughly 1000 XP turns into 60 silver, so a lot of quests, particularly the dungeon quests and elite quests, can give an extra 4 to 5 gold if you just wait to turn them in at level 60. And that's like a good 100 gold that you could be wasting just because you weren't a little bit more patient. What I always do, guys, before I hit level 60 is I just grind dungeons for the XP and I hold on to the majority of my quests to just turn them in at level 60 instead. Yes, some quests may be very tempting because they give loads of XP, really good gear, but trust me, being patient and getting the extra gold is worth it in the long run. Remember, we are trying to invest for the future. And at level 60, I would recommend continuing to do as many dungeon and elite quests as possible, because this grants you a lot of good startup gold for when you do hit level 60. And it's also a convenient and fun way to get gold rather than killing the same mob for hours on end. You want to use this gold to start leveling up your professions. Rather than thinking about saving up for your mount initially, you should think about, how should I invest gold now to level up my professions to make more gold in the future? You do need your professions leveled up anyway if you want to seriously compete in PvE and PvP. Yes, they do cost gold to level up, but in the long run, they will return a lot more gold back to you. Now, when it comes to leveling up your professions, you should ignore all of the professional leveling guides out there. And what you should do instead is create things that actually give you money back, or at least help you to break even on the auction house. What I do is I use the addon auctionator, and what it does is it brings this little menu in a profession menu, and you click search, and it searches for the item that you're creating and the items that are required to craft it, and it will tell you if you can make a profit just by crafting it. And you want to craft those items while leveling up your professions, so you massively minimize the cost of leveling your professions, and potentially you actually end up making more gold if you're patient and wait for everything to sell on the auction house. Now, you can take this mindset of preparing for the future even further by doing this on alt characters and setting up some alt characters for even more profession gold flips. What I'll be doing personally is I'm going to level a mage to level 20 very quickly because it's a very fast class to level. It's also good for potential gold farming in the future if I want to do that. I'm going to get tailoring and alchemy on this character so that I can just sit that character in a capital city, buy stuff off the auction house, craft it, flip it back onto the auction house, and make a lot of gold without actually having to properly farm gold. I can just sit in Thunderbluff and happy days. What I usually do is I log on half an hour before raid night, do a little bit of this gold flipping, and I never ever have to farm gold for any of the consumables that I need for my raiding. You need a character at level 20 in order to unlock 225 profession level, and then level 35 to fully unlock everything. At level 20 you can still make a decent amount of gold by just doing these simple profession flips, mainly with smelting, alchemy, and tailoring. So obviously tailoring for bags, smelting, obviously you're just making the bars, and alchemy you're going to be making loads of consumes. Consumes are always in demand and always make a little bit of cheeky profit. And the reason why this is because people are just lazy. People are too lazy to buy the materials and ask someone with that profession to craft it for them, so there's always very easy profit to be made. Obviously, leveling an alt to level 35 does take a lot of time, but personally, I think it's worth it for every single person to do, at least for one character, because if you hate farming gold, this is perfect. If you have an alt character with alchemy and tailoring at pretty high level, you can flip bags easily, you can flip flasks and other stat utility potions. Honestly guys, it's like the easiest gold you will ever make. You don't need to leave the capital city to go farming, and all you need is an alt at level 35. Now, one really good way to get your characters leveled up extremely fast to set up these profession gold flipping alts is to use a leveling add-on. And imagine if you could use a leveling add-on actually made by world record holding speed levelers who have leveled to max level in 3 days playtime on some of the slowest classes to level in the game, like the warrior. Well, Rusted XP has your back for that, and they've also provided me a bigger 15% discount if you just use my link in the description and use the discount code MetaGoblinFresh. Now, fourthly, it's very important to obviously get your achievements done, otherwise you won't actually be able to enter the instance, which will obviously be quite embarrassing. Now, you can start doing the Initiate achievement at level 54, you can start doing the achievement to the Molten Core at 55, and Blackwing Lair also at 55. You may as well be working on this while you're leveling up, because the quest chains actually do give pretty decent XP. Oni achievement for the Alliance starts with a quest Dragonkin Menace in Morgan's Vigil within Burning Steppes, and then for Horde, the quest is Warlord's Command in Kargath, the Badlands. Achievement to the core is started at the High Elf NPC just outside of Blackrock Depths, and then the Blackwing Lair achievement is looted from the Scar Shield Quartermaster and then requires you to go and do an Upper Blackrock Spire run. And that's all you got to do to attune to absolutely everything for now. Now, I would recommend for everyone to at least get their main faction to Honoured before they go and buy their epic mount, because it does reduce the gold required by 10%. And if you're watching this when PvP has been released, if you get rank 3, it saves another 100 gold, for a total of 200 gold saved when buying your epic mount. You may as well do it, because why on earth would you waste 200 gold? Now, this next tip is more for the future as well, but no good video talking about what to do at level 60 would miss this out, because you should be doing Zul'Gurub and AQ20 every single lockout when they are unlocked, without fail, if you're looking to catch up to everyone else. Obviously, this is for a chance to get all of the gear from the bosses, but it's also very important to do every lockout because you want to farm their reputation to unlock even more gear. And in Zul'Gurub, for instance, when you get that reputation grinded up, you unlock some very powerful trinkets and necklaces, which really provide a very powerful class-specific bonus, like for instance the Warlock trinket, increasing crit by 10% for 20 seconds, or the Mage neck piece, reducing the cooldown on counterspell by 2 seconds. In fact, many of the neck pieces provide really decent PvP bonuses. This gear is just amazing to get yourself caught up to players who've been, level 60 since the launch of Molten Core in 3 days. But if you're watching this in a few months' time, you'll easily get caught up by just doing these instances every single week. You can do them twice per week. It really is never too late to start playing Classic WoW because of Zul'Gurub and AQ20. Now, obviously, you do want to be farming your pre-bis gear, and you want to start doing it before you actually hit level 60. You should think about farming your pre-bis, honestly, when you actually hit level 50, that's when you should start thinking about it, because you can start doing BID at that level, and there's so much bis pieces for some classes in BID. Whenever I play vanilla, or to be honest with any expansion launch, to be honest, I usually spend the last few levels just farming instances for XP, but also simultaneously farming my pre-bis gear, and that way you essentially kill 2 birds with 1 stone, you save a lot of time, and like I mentioned earlier, the gold reward on quest increases a lot if you just wait to turn in those quests at max level anyway. One really good way to just make a load of starter gold when you hit max level is to just go and do a load of quests with your friends, because yeah, every quest gives a big gold reward when you hit level 60. Trust me, it's much more fun than going farming thorium for arcane crystals or killing the same mob over and over again or doing the same instance run over and over again. You also want to make sure you have a disenchanting alt separate to your other characters. Enchanting isn't obviously that good for making gold. Well, it isn't good for making easy gold on the auction house because you can't sell enchanting vellums on the auction house, but it is important to have a disenchanting alt character, and this is because sometimes when you're running dungeons you will acquire some green items, but they have pretty bad vendor value, and you could make a lot more gold if they were disenchanted. In vanilla, you actually only need a character to be level 55 to learn enchanting, and then it can disenchant absolutely everything regardless of the item level of the item. So send those really crappy greens to your alt, but just be sure to check the vendor value of the green item against the raw material cost of what it's going to be disenchanted into, just to make sure you're not gimping yourself on the amount of gold that you're actually going to get from disenchanting that item. Now, in order to prepare for some serious raiding, it is very important to get the absolute best weak auras. It goes without saying that just having the correct weak aura can be absolutely crucial to increasing your DPS, and it's because they track things and make it easier to see when it is the best time to change your rotation, or use certain abilities for a DPS boost, or to line certain cooldowns together. I'd recommend going on the class discords and checking obviously the archived channels for all of the vanilla stuff back in the day, or look at the most downloaded weak auras for classic. What I found, obviously because there's a lot of season of discovery weak auras on there at the moment, which is kind of annoying, but what I've done is I've typed classic error into the search bar, and that seems to filter out the ones that are for season of discovery. But guys, I will be making a ultimate weak aura guide for every single class in the game, and these are going to be weak auras specifically for basically getting better DPS and passes in a raiding environment in Classic WoW. This is going to be a subscriber only video. Just subscribe to the channel, check out my subscriber only landing page in the description of this sub only video, and you're going to see it there when it is finally finished. And lastly, I think it's important actually to make 2 bank alts instead of 1. And this is obviously because you can get a guild bank for yourself in vanilla, and paying for the extra bag slot on your bank, it kind of gets a bit costly. I think it's better, honestly, in vanilla to just have 2 bank alts. I have 1 bank alt purely for auction house stuff and making gold, and then I have a separate one purely to just dump my raiding consumables on, to keep everything organized and to keep my main character's inventory pretty clean, so that when I'm out in dungeons and stuff, my inventory isn't getting full and not gimping the amount of potential gold per hour that I could make by playing the game. Now that the game has instant mail between your characters, there's really no need to not do this. Be sure to use the postal add-on so you can actually create contacts on the add-on, which basically just makes it easier and faster to send stuff between all of your characters. And sometimes when you're typing the name of your character, you can accidentally type the wrong name. So what I'd recommend is for all your bank alts and whatever alt profession gold making characters you have, make sure they do actually have pretty unique names with a different starter letter. Otherwise, because a number of times I have accidentally sent mail to the wrong character, then you're causing an unnecessary postal cost. So yeah, have a unique first letter for all of your bank alts and be sure to add them to your contact list in postal. But anyway guys, that's going to be the end of the video there. My name is Metagoblin. Until my next video, ciao.